Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. It's March 1st, 2025. Great to be with you. And of course, with that March 1st and that being Saturday, it means we're on to a brand new master topic. We'll get into that in just a moment. I am your host and also a podcast coach, and it is a privilege and pleasure to be with you here tonight or today or in the morning or whatever time you tune in. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. Our master topic for this entire week is building strong, authentic relationships. We are on series four, show 10, and this is episode number one. And we're going to take a lot of our insights from the Bible. So hopefully you guys will really appreciate that. If you'd like to go run to the kitchen to get something delicious, maybe it's something warm, something hot, something cold, something something sweet, something tart, or maybe something else like nuts or anything. Just go ahead and get that and hurry on back. All right. Well, in today or tonight's episode, I'm going to dive very deep into the powerful art of building strong, authentic relationships. Now, whether you're nurturing personal bonds or fostering teamwork in the workplace, the principles of respect, trust, and communication can completely transform your interactions. So, join me now as we explore together essential habits and strategies for cultivating meaningful connections that will last. Let's get started, everyone. So, number one, focus on mutual respect and trust. At the heart of any meaningful relationship, it's mutual respect and trust. Now, these two elements from what we know form the foundation for everything else. Respect just means acknowledging the worth of the other person, while trust involves believing in their reliability and, of course, their integrity. Now, when you approach others with respect, you're demonstrating that you value them, which sets the tone for a positive interaction. Now, trust builds confidence, allowing both parties to be open, which is very, very important, and vulnerable without fear of any type of betrayal. Now, the beauty of these qualities is that they're reciprocal, right? When you show respect and build trust, others are likely to mirror that behavior, leading to stronger, more authentic connections. All right, number two, be an active listener. Being an active listener is a powerful skill and tool you're going to want to have in your arsenal for building stronger relationships. Now, this means more than just hearing, okay? The words someone say are about how they involve and engage with the speaker by making eye contact, asking thoughtful questions, and offering feedback that shows you understand their specific perspective. Active listening requires full attention, which helps create an environment where both people feel heard and validated. It's especially important in moments of conflict or stress, as it can de escalate tense situations and lead to better understanding. By practicing active listening, you show that you value the other person's voice and perspective, which deepens the relationship. So, number three, communicate openly and honestly. Communication is the bridge that connects us and makes it so that we can be open, honest, and have a communication that will be strengthened. That is very, very, very important and helping us to build that bridge. When you communicate openly, you share your thoughts, your feelings, and intentions clearly without hiding or sugarcoating the truth. Honest communication invites authenticity and allows both sides to express their true selves. While it can be challenging, especially when difficult topics arise, transparency fosters a deep level of trust and connection. Now, when you're honest, you're not only telling others what you think, but also demonstrating that you care enough to be truthful, right? So, this level of openness helps avoid misunderstandings and builds stronger um, levels of trust and more resilient relationships. Number four, ladies and gentlemen, this is an important one: show empathy and understanding. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It goes beyond just sympathizing, it's about emotionally connecting for someone else's experience. In other words, taking off your shoes and putting on their shoes. Now, not literally, but proverbially. So we're going to feel as if we are in their spot, right? You might have heard somebody say, well, if you were in my shoes, or try my shoes on for a day and then tell me how you'd feel. Now, not an easy thing, because a lot of people don't want to try on somebody else's shoes. They don't want to feel what that's like. So it's about emotionally connecting and showing compassion for someone else's experience. When you show the empathy, you create that bond that goes much beyond words. All right. You convey that you are present with them and that their struggles or the joys are important to you. Empathy helps to build trust and strengthen relationships because it shows a willingness to support others in times of need. It can even deepen relationships by encouraging vulnerability and openness. By demonstrating empathy, you not only improve your connections with others, but also create a safe space where feelings can be expressed and addressed. That's right, I said expressed and addressed. Number five, make time for meaningful connections. In our fast paced world, it's easy to neglect relationships as we focus on our work, right? Responsibilities, and even our personal promises or goals that we want to achieve. However, building authentic relationships requires intentional effort. Meaningful connections are created by spending quality time together, whether it's through a simple conversation, sharing an activity, which could be a lunch, which could be a hobby, which could be going to an amusement park or a movie, or providing support in a time of need. Now, this doesn't mean spending every waking hour together, but it does mean prioritizing each other. This is very important, and regularly making time for the people you care about helps strengthen the bonds and ensures that relationships are nurtured, right? In the long run, the time you invest in building these connections will pay off in the form of deeper, more fulfilling relationships. So those that want to, build them very quickly are going to miss the whole process of building deep bonds because it's going to be superficial and it's going to fall apart, right? So, number six, be reliable and dependable. Reliability is one of the most valued traits in a relationship. When you say you'll do something, people trust that you will follow through. Being dependable means that others can count on you, whether it's for support in times of need or for keeping promises and commitments. It's a crucial quality in both personal and professional relationships because it builds a sense of security. Knowing that you can rely on someone gives you confidence and peace of mind. Whether it's showing up on time, being there for someone in a distressful situation, or fulfilling promises that you have. Being reliable strengthens your reputation and fortifies your relationships. So, number seven, support others in their growth. Great relationships are not one sided, they are built on a foundation of mutual support. Supporting someone in their personal or professional growth shows that you believe in their potential and want to see them succeed. Whether it's offering encouragement, sharing resources, or providing a listening ear, showing support helps people feel valued. When we help others grow, we not only contribute to their development, but we also deepen the bond between us. This support fosters an environment where both people feel empowered to pursue their goals and become the best versions of themselves. Very important. Number eight, set healthy boundaries. While it's important to give and support is needed in relationships, it's equally just as important to establish healthy boundaries. Boundaries protect your emotional, your mental, and your physical well being and ensure that your relationships remain balanced and respectful. When we set clear boundaries, we're communicating what is and isn't acceptable. which helps avoid misunderstandings and resentment. Healthy boundaries enable both parties to maintain their individuality while still fostering a connection. They also create an environment where people feel safe and respected. Establishing and respecting boundaries ensures that relationships remain healthy, sustainable, and fulfilling, and of course, keep growing. Number nine, be authentic and true to yourself. Authenticity is the key to meaningful relationships. When you show up as your true self without pretending to be someone you're not, you allow others to do the same. Authenticity attracts genuine connections because it invites others to be vulnerable and honest. Pretending to be something you're not may lead to temporary acceptance, but it doesn't lead to deep, lasting relationships. When you're authentic, you attract people who appreciate you for who you are, truly, which forms the basis for strong, meaningful bonds. And being true to yourself is basically the name of the game. A lot of people want to rush that process. But I think if you can really hone in on the fact of authenticity and being that true you, you get meaningful bonds. And it encourages others to do the same, creating an atmosphere of acceptance and mutual trust. Number 10, celebrate each other's success. A healthy relationship is one where both individuals celebrate each other's achievements. Celebrating others' successes don't diminish your own. It strengthens the bond between you. When you cheer for someone's victories, whether big or small, you show that you care about their happiness and their growth. Now, recognizing and celebrating each other's accomplishments builds positivity and mutual respect. It also encourages further growth as both parties feel valued and appreciated. Taking the time to celebrate milestones and victories fosters a culture of environment and joy as we ensure that both people continue to thrive together. Now, first thing I want to do before I go back and tell my stories for each one, because that's always something you guys look forward to. I want to tell you where this idea came from for the show. A lot of the ideas for my show, by the way, have been coming from the Bible, have been coming from the Holy Spirit, from Lord. You guys know I'm religious, and I read at my church on Saturdays, and I also read on Mondays. But this past week and the next week, I'm reading not only on Monday, but I'm also reading on Friday. And this next week, I'm reading on Ash Wednesday, which is Wednesday already, May 5th. So when I was reading this past Friday, which basically was pretty much the end of March, February, pardon me, not March, March 28th, the last day of February, I was reading the book of Sirach. And I started hearing about all these things about friendship and what it means. I said, gee, this is really interesting. And I've always read the Bible, but it seems like I always learn something that I didn't know before. So that was really, really good. And it got me to thinking, hey, John, you know what you need to do? You need to make this your theme for the week. And that was something that really, how can I say, it really empowered me and it kind of excited me too that was happening. So let's dive back for number one, right? Um, the foundation of any strong relationship is built on mutual respect and trust, right? When both parties respect and trust each other, the relationship thrives and becomes genuine and long lasting. Now, according to Sirach in the Bible, Sirach 6:5, and I quote, a kind mouth multiplies friends and appeases enemies, and gracious lips prompt friendly greetings. So, what's this all about? Well, I think what Sirach is trying to tell us is that respect and kindness attracts friends and can even resolve conflicts. Everyone wants to be treated with respect, but sometimes, we get into stressful environments, or, we're in a stressful situation because we're under a deadline or something's happened and it's basically altered um, the little bit of sanity that we had at the moment. and it's kind of really tested our patience, right? That happens to all of us, even the best of us. So number two, we talked about being an active listener. Uh, so how do we before I go to number two, I want to go back to number one. So focusing on mutual respect. That means you respect that person, you respect their time, you respect, listening to them, you respect their boundaries. Okay. Number two, being an active listener. So this is all about building strong relationships, right? Um, and although that seems pretty easy, it's daunting for some people. Well, according to Sirach 6:6, let your acquaintances be many, but one in 1,000 your confidant. Let's break that down for a moment. So according to Merriam-Webster, what is an acquaintance? So an acquaintance, according to Merriam-Webster, and I quote, it's a noun, um, the state of being acquainted. Now I know that doesn't help, but if we think about what that means, let's go to Merriam-Webster for acquaint. It's a verb to cause to know personally, to make familiar, to cause to know firsthand. So maybe if you were running for office, let's say, you would want to get to know people because you want to get their vote. Maybe if you were, let's say, you were having a procedure done, like I had my wisdom teeth taken out. I wanted to get acquainted with the different doctors and see who I was going to feel comfortable with. And so, like it says here, and this is very, very important, um, we have to understand that let your acquaintances be many, but one 1,000 your confidant. So, what is a confidant? Well, according to Merriam-Webster, one to whom secrets are entrusted, somebody intimate, whether that's platonic or non-platonic, intimate, marked by a warm friendship developing through long association, um, informal warmth or privacy, engaged in, involving. It could be marked by adult relations. Like I said, it could be platonic or non platonic. It doesn't have to be. Of a personal or private nature, marked by very close association, contact, or familiarity, right? Belonging to or characterizing one's deepest nature, such as a very close friend. A very close friend, you might share, hey, I did this and, I'm really not proud of myself. And that person is going to be the one that is going to cheer you on, like your cheerleader. This is really important. So it highlights that respect, okay, is important, like we learned from before. But the most important thing that this highlights is the importance of discerning who you truly listen to and you trust, emphasizing the value of deep, authentic connections with a few rather than shallow interactions. So, of course, you might have heard the phrase love many, trust few. So, of course, you can be acquainted, you can get to know them a little bit, but you're not going to share your personal details with them. You might, with a really close friend, you might tell them things about your investing because you trust them. You know they're not going to go against you, right? You already know that. And so, number three, um, communicating openly and honestly. So, again, that builds trust too, doesn't it? It avoids misunderstandings, as we said. Now, according to Sirach's wisdom, 6:7, I quote, when you gain a friend, first test him and be not too ready to trust him. This verse comes to us because honesty is essential, but it also urges us to be cautious and discerning in whom we choose to trust with our deepest thoughts. I know we all want to put trust in everybody. I know, even being in college, but I've learned that you've got to make sure it's the right one. Just like you're deciding who's the right one you're going to spend the rest of your life with, who's going to be your confidant? Who's going to be your cheerleader, male or woman? Who is going to be the one that is going to be able to lift you up? Who's the one that's going to motivate you? Okay. Those are important things to understand. Number four, we talked about empathy. Okay. Allows us to connect with others on a deeper level. It's not just having an understanding or a little bit of, let's say, some support, but somebody who has empathy actually is willing to proverbially put the shoes on and feel what you're feeling. Now, this comes to us from Sirach 6:14, and I quote, "A faithful friend is a sturdy shelter. He who finds one finds a treasure." This reflects how a true friend offers support and understanding during difficult times, making them priceless. Priceless. A good friend isn't after what you have or you don't have. A good friend is not there to trip you up. A good friend is not trying to steal your business or steal your assets. No, that's not what a good friend is going to do. So make sure you test him or her before you unleash some of your truths. One thing I tell people to do is share a vulnerability, right? Not the kitchen sink, right? The whole house, but share a vulnerability and then see if they share one back. Now, nothing really personal, but maybe something, it could be something as simple as, when we were swimming. Well, when I was swimming, I actually was there and I was at camp and, I was about to take a dive and then I just realized my bathing suit like split. And my coach is like, I have to still do the dive. And I was like, and so I was like, he was trying to do the dive. And so I'm up there and I'm trying to do the dive. He's saying, and as he did the dive, he's like trying to keep his backside pretty close by kind of squeezing a little bit to kind of, take a little bit of surface area away. And then as he dove into the pool, which that was great, the pants split completely and, well, they fell off in the water. So that's something that's very personal, but that's not the most personal thing. And then maybe they'll share something else with you. So I think these are important things to understand. So remember, a friend is a sturdy shelter. Okay. Um, and showing empathy is not something we should expect, it's something that we should appreciate. Okay. Number five, we talk about making time for meaningful connections. People are meaningful, right? Relationships are meaningful. Sirach, according to Sirach 6:15, says, and I quote, "A faithful friend is beyond price. No sum can balance his worth." That's amazing. A true friend is invaluable in investing time. In building meaningful connections is always worthwhile. See, a true friend is not trying to get you at your worst, okay? Or trying to get you at your best. Your true friend is just to be there for the genuineness that they are. All right. So remember that. It's a very, very important thing. And we're talking about the fact that they're invaluable. So number six said be reliable and dependable, didn't it? So we know that maintaining trust in a relationship is not easy. According to Sirach 6:16, quote, "A faithful friend is a life-saving remedy, such as he who fears God finds." Let me say that again. A faithful friend is a life saving remedy, such as he who fears God finds. So, just as life saving remedies offer support in times of distress, could be a lifeguard, could be something medical, a reliable friend provides the comfort and the stability when you need it. And they're not looking to get paid back. The reward is knowing that they motivated. The reward is knowing that they helped you to feel better. Okay. That's really important. So, our next point is number seven. We talked about support. And the thing about support is supporting others in their growth. Okay. Um, you know, this is interesting. Okay. So, true friends encourage each other. And that's the difference between a friend and somebody who's trying to be like an acquaintance. So this comes to us from Sirach 6:17. He who fears God behaves accordingly, and his friend will be like himself. What does it mean? Well, it reflects on the fact that when you have integrity and support and do things for the right reasons and want people to grow, your friendships flourish in a similar way with mutual growth and shared values. You're not after their money. You're not after something they're going to do for you or give you or something like that. Okay. Number 8, healthy boundaries. So, according to Sirach 6:12, keep away from your enemies. Be on your guard with your friends. So, boundaries are crucial. They ensure that we stay protected and respected. Keep away from your enemies. Be on your guard with your friends. I love that. And so, Sirach 6:12, this really instills in us that we have to be cautious in the relationships that we choose to take part in. Just being a sign that we should set boundaries with both friends and enemies to protect ourselves. You might say, gee, well, why do I set a boundary with an enemy? Well, maybe somebody that's you feel trying to hurt you. You never want to be nasty to anybody, but you want to set a boundary like, hey, I don't know you. I really like a little more space. I mean, nothing personal. It's just I don't know you very. I just like to keep more space, or I really appreciate if you would not text me, every day. If you need something, once a week's fine, but please don't text me. Maybe it's a neighbor and you don't want to get to know them that well yet. Maybe number 9. Number 9, I think is very, very important. It comes to us from Sirach 6:14. Be authentic and true to yourself. Authenticity is building genuine connections. That's where it is. And Sirach's wisdom, as I quote, says, a faithful friend is a sturdy shelter. Authenticity creates the sturdy shelter where both parties can be true to themselves, knowing that they are accepted as who they are. So that means no discrimination for race, religion, orientation, color, creed, political party. I am who I am, and so are you, and I'm happy to be your friend. Number 10. Number 10 is Sirach 6:16. Celebrate the success, ladies and gentlemen, of others. Foster positivity and strengthen relationships. Don't be a hypocrite in not wanting people to succeed. All right. A faithful friend is a life saving remedy. As we support friends through tough times, celebrate their successes. That's probably one of the most important things that I can share with you is that we need to be affirming, not just when they're having a challenge, but when they're having good times. A lot of times you always know your good friends because your good friends will be around when you're having a challenge. I can remember many times in high school when I thought I had a great person, but they really weren't a good person. Welcome. Hey, Kenneth, it's great to be with you. Thank you so much. Great to see you so much on here. And we have a great thing where he says, savor the flavor of awesomeness in you for sharing your beautifully well articulated, eloquently stated, heartfelt thoughts of wisdom, encouragement, inspiration, enthusiasm, knowledge. I really am grateful for you to be here. Thank you so much, friend. And it is great to be with all of you. Well, take care, everyone. We'll see you real soon.